You're listening to the Confessions of a Beauty Boss podcast, the show that puts the spotlight on beauty business owners making big moves online. I'm your host, Angela Dixon, social media mentor, in-clinic content creator, and the founder of Beauty Business Co. I believe you can achieve anything you set your mind to, and I'm here to give you the tools, strategies, and confidence to grow your beauty business with the power of social media. Each week, you'll hear from industry professionals, experts, and salon owners just like you, sharing their stories, their wins, and exactly how they're showing up online to become the beauty boss they are today. So, are you ready to be inspired? Get visible and start building the beauty business of your dreams. Let's get into it. Before we dive into this podcast episode, I want to invite you to Activate Her, a 2-day transformational event experience for the beauty industry, hosted by myself, Angela Dixon, your social media mentor and visibility strategist for the beauty industry, and my bestie, Martina McCormack, who is a mindset and energetics coach, and so much more. If you're a beauty business owner anywhere in Australia, I just want you to lean in for a second, because this isn't just another industry event. This is your invitation to step out of overthinking, out of holding back, and into the version of you who is fully seen in her business. We are officially inviting you to Activate Her, a 2-day live experience for the Australian beauty industry held on the Sunshine Coast in Mooloolaba this September 2026. And women are flying in for this. From clinic owners to skin therapists to beauty professionals who know they are ready for more visibility, more confidence, and more growth, but something keeps getting in their way. Because it's not just about knowing what to post, it's the fear of judgment, the fear of being seen, the pressure to get it right so you don't show up at all. Inside Activate Her, we shift that. This is where inner work meets visible expression, where you stop playing small and start showing up as the woman your business actually needs you to be. So if you're in the beauty industry in Australia and you're ready to be seen, heard, and fully expressed, we want you in the room. Use code ACTIVATE to secure your ticket. Head to the link in the show notes for more details. This isn't just a weekend away. It's the moment everything changes in how you show up. You're listening to episode 77 of the Confessions of a Beauty Boss podcast. Welcome back. Today's conversation is one that every single salon owner, clinic owner, and beauty business operator is going to feel deep in their bones, because we're talking about something that can either make or break your day, your team. I'm joined by the incredible Lauren Moreland, founder of Salon Connected, a platform that is completely transforming the way our industry finds and fills last-minute staffing gaps. With over 20 years in the hair and beauty industry and 8 years as a salon owner herself, Lauren knows exactly what it feels like when a team member calls in sick, appointments are fully booked, and you're left trying to hold everything together while still delivering an exceptional client experience. After navigating one of the most challenging periods in 2023, Lauren realized something powerful. It wasn't that there weren't enough skilled professionals out there. It was that there wasn't a fast, reliable way to connect them with businesses when they were needed most. And from that moment, Salon Connected was born. This platform is not only supporting salons, spas, and studios to run more smoothly, it's also creating a new level of flexibility, freedom, and opportunity for beauty professionals across the industry. Lauren is on a mission to evolve the way our industry operates, and today we're diving into the real behind-the-scenes conversations around staffing, support, and what it truly takes to run a beauty business when the unexpected happens, plus lots of social media talk as well. So if you've ever felt the pressure of being everything in your business, or you're ready to lead in a more supported, sustainable way, this episode is for you. Let's get into it. And welcome to my virtual beauty lounge. How are you?
I'm good, Angela. How are you?
I am so good. I'm so excited to connect with you on the podcast. We've known each other for quite
a long time, many,
Yeah.
many years, actually.
Yeah, it has been actually.
I think back in my Dermalogica days as a business consultant, and I can't wait to hear all about your journey, and we'll kick off with that in a moment. But isn't it so fascinating where the industry can take us?
Oh my gosh, yes. It's just, isn't it crazy? Because when you first start studying, you think, I'm a beauty therapist and that's it. And then as you get into it, there's the avenues that open up. It's amazing.
Yeah, our industry can take us wherever you want it to go. And I think it's so important. I love having this podcast because bringing people on, it really shows the possibilities of all the different avenues and where you can be taken if you change interests, if you're feeling a little bit demotivated or not wanting to maybe be in clinic anymore and do something else. There is potentially always something, but sticking within the industry. And I love it. Like, I'm still in the industry kind of like 22 years later, and I've definitely had so many different lives in this industry, but I don't know if I'll ever leave it.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, 100%.
Well, I always like to kick off the show with what your definition of a hashtag beauty boss means to you, especially
Yep.
in today's industry. We've pivoted and changed so much in the digital age. So take it away.
Well, to me, I think it's about being adaptable in this industry because it's continually changing. So, being aware of what's going on as a beauty boss, staying curious, and I guess not saying no to opportunities, but also learning. And that was one thing for me as a beauty boss is that you actually don't have to do it all yourself. So, if you can create the right support systems just to make your life that bit easier and just to focus, so it allows you to focus on, I guess, what you're great at and passionate about.
That is so good. And I mean, going back to like following you back in your days of owning tranquility, and then me with my love of social media, I loved the fact I saw you always in the business. I saw you being a real true leader for your team, but then you weren't afraid to get your hands dirty. You weren't afraid to show up on socials and really drive the marketing side of it and show up really differently. And I feel like that was, I don't know if I'm wrong here, but like I feel like you loved doing that, and that's why you continued to show up differently all the time, and you weren't afraid to speak to the camera and share your message and book those appointments and book those gaps and tell people of your, the following that you had, which I always say it's like our community on social media, and you're only speaking to them. And you weren't afraid to be like, hey, we've got an appointment today. And I always loved that. I just wanted to say that to you. That just came in for me then.
And it was one of those things is when you're first starting out, it's so daunting, like talking to the camera, knowing it's going out to people, but it's like a muscle. The more you do it, and so many of my staff and other clients were like, I don't know how you do it. It's like you just got to do it. The more you do it, the easier it gets, and then it becomes like nothing. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, absolutely. And you were leading by example there. And I know that it is one of the biggest struggles for beauty business owners with team to get their team starting to show up on the social media for them. And I think, yeah, you led really well by example there. It wasn't like they were doing all, like they weren't mimicking what you were doing as such. But I think that's the side of it where if you can lead and show that this is how we book our appointments and you're responsible for also, repeating your customer, increasing your customer spend, and having clients like kind of love up on who you are so that they already know, like, and trust you before they come in for their next appointment. It can help so much in business growth.
no, 100%. Yeah, I totally agree.
Well, let's take it all the way back. Where did it all begin for you? How did you get started in the beauty industry and what led you to where you are today
Yeah.
and inspired to build Salon Connected?
Yeah, okay. Well, going back, I actually started my diploma middle of 2005. So finished the middle of 2006 down in Coffs Harbour. That beauty school actually doesn't exist anymore. It was that long ago. But I moved to the Gold Coast and I was there for a little bit in 2007 and worked for like a mobile day spa company. And we used to go into like hotels, when people were on holidays, a lot of work at Palazzo Versace and all of that. So some quite high-end clientele and day spas. Then I was back in Coffs for a bit and worked for a little salon down there, and then finally made the move to Brizzy in 2008. And I actually started working on an Elabache counter because I thought, I don't know if I'm still into the whole beauty thing. I don't know. I'll just work on a counter and see how I go. And then realized I hated it. I missed the treatment room. So went back to a salon. And then from there, I worked at a few other places around Brisbane and then finally ended up at Tranquility in 2011. And I was there until I took over in 2017.
Oh
So
my
it was,
gosh, that
yeah,
long ago.
that long ago. Yeah. So I guess it was that whole transition from being a therapist through to a boss that just, you don't know what you don't know, and it is a lot to learn in a very short time. So I'd never managed before I owned a business. So it was definitely sink or swim. So I had to learn very fast.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I guess what inspired me to create Salon Connected came from managing staff and just realizing points in time when you'd be short staffed for whatever reason, where you needed someone just to fill in, but there was nothing, there was nowhere to turn. Um,
Yeah,
Talking to other
it's
salon
such a
owners.
big struggle.
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, that's kind of how it all started for me, how I got into the industry. But the main part for me is why when I really struggled the most was the end of 20 was amazing, but she was suffering from HG, so severe morning sickness. And so we're coming into Christmas and we didn't have time to look for a new employee, train them up, do all the things, spend all that time. And it was so stressful. So I felt like I was just wheeling and dealing with staff to come in on days off or do extra hours. And I remember so many times just wanting to scream and can I just grab someone in off the street to fill in or, and I felt alone. I'm like, who do I turn to? There was nowhere to turn. So it was
Yeah.
from that my husband and I were chatting, 12 months later about why is this gap here in this industry and how can we fix it or why hasn't anyone fixed it? So yeah, the ideas of Salon Connected kind of came from there.
That's so amazing. I love that that came from a conversation around the dinner table with your hubby.
Yeah.
And these are the things, right? Sometimes we have these passing ideas and they're either for us or they're not, right? I think that like we can have millions of ideas come through our brain each day, but that was obviously something that truly landed. It was a gap that you felt was extremely necessary, not just for yourself, but for the industry. And
Mm.
then it's up to the ambition behind you to make it come into reality. So I absolutely love it. Do you want to go into what Salon Connected actually is, how it works, and yeah, we'll leave all the links and everything for everyone to go and find out more information of how they can get a part of Salon Connected. But I'd just love for you to give the good old brief of what it is and how it is actually changing our industry.
Yeah, for sure. So it is an app for both uh, hairdressers, beauty therapists, anyone in the hair and beauty industry, and also salon owners. So there is two avenues for it. So once you've signed up and created an account as a business owner, if you needed someone uh, at short notice, you would jump in and punch in the date that they were needed, the time, the treatments that they're required to perform, plus the type of worker that you essentially would prefer, and any extra notes. So it can be anything, needed till 5 o'clock or is 2 days work, whatever, anything you would like. That then drops down into available jobs. So on the other side of that, workers can see these available jobs and they can request that shift if obviously it suits them. You can actually communicate with each other through the platform. So before a worker requests the shift, they can actually message the business owner and vice versa. If someone has requested the shift, then the business owner can actually message the therapist and ask them any questions as well. Once they have completed the shift, so if Emily has accepted the shift for this date and she works however many hours, once she's finished that, she invoices the business directly. So there's no other payment other than subscription that is paid to Salon Connected. Everything is done externally via that way. So all the workers that do sign up are contractors. So they do need their own ABN, But yeah, we've tried to make it as streamlined as easy as possible. So if it is someone who is working already X amount of hours in one salon, they are able to work for themselves through Salon Connected to pick up extra work as they like.
It sounds really simple.
Yeah, yeah, that's what
I've
we've
got
tried to make it.
Yeah, I've got a girlfriend in the recruitment world. She's actually a nanny. She owns a nanny agency. And
Yeah.
so it sounds so similar in that aspect of, like
Mm.
you've got therapists that are looking for work. You've got beauty business owners that need staff. And this is a niched down version of someone who you're obviously, screening people that are coming through, and you've got that one place. It's the one hub that people need to go to. That sounds like it's saving so much time. That would save so many migraines and just be, I guess, that place of trusted authority that they can turn to when they're really in need of building their team.
Yeah, 100%. And they can use it as much or as little as they like. And we knew that when we did our research into all of this, we saw that teachers and optometrists and so many other industries had something very similar. So that's why I was like, why does this not exist for us already? So yeah, that's what we've created off just looking the way that other industries are doing it.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, we need to make sure that we're sharing you um, far and wide because I think that this is such a game changer. So how old is the business now?
We launched in August 2025. So it's still a baby, still a wee baby.
Yeah, still a baby. Oh, excellent. And you're quite active on social media as well. What's your Instagram handle?
It's just salon_connected.
Okay, perfect. We'll make sure that we add that as well so that people can just even get a part of your world. Because I know sometimes it takes a little bit of time. It's something new.
Yeah.
Or I'm actually looking for a team member to hire. And then this might feel really out of comfort for so many to kind of like dabble and test and try. So I'm sure you've got lots of incredible stories of others. Do you have one in mind that you could share that it's actually changed the way in how, a business owner is doing staff filling and stuff now?
Yeah, through the app.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have a salon down in Sydney who's contacted me directly, and she has really struggled with hairdressing. With hairdressers. And she said it's just been a revolving door, but she has found through this app. She had one girl that filled in a couple of times for her, and that's actually led to a permanent role for this girl. So that was really awesome to hear because that was another feature, we thought people could use it for. It's kind of like a try before you buy, I guess, too. So owners get to know other workers and they're getting to see them actually perform before they take them on because they can perform well in an interview. Maybe you do all right in a trades test, but get them on the floor and half the time they can flunk it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was awesome to hear those sorts of feedback as well.
Yeah. Oh, what a beautiful story. I love that that's resulted in an actual permanent role as well. And how beautiful that you've been the pathway for this to happen for a business owner. Like I always love to look at the deeper why behind why we are in our businesses. And for this, that just lights me up to know that you're actually not only solving a problem, but then you're also helping that business owner in so many other ways for the pathway of their growth.
Yeah, exactly. And, I noticed a whole shift pre-COVID. It was easy to find staff, back in before 2020. And then post-COVID, I don't know what happened, but it seemed near impossible. So it's like people just disappeared or maybe went to other fields. And I've had other people reach out saying they're now getting back into hair and beauty through this app because they did leave for all different reasons. And it's allowing them to keep their hand on the pulse and keep in the industry that they still love. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I love that. So, what challenges are you currently seeing beauty business owners face at the moment when you're hearing from them, or even just a story from yourself?
Staffing seems to be the main challenge business owners face. I know that for myself and anyone I've always spoken, any owner I've ever spoken to. Staffing's one of the main ones. And not just being short staff, but also some staff attitude and performance. So trying to manage that can be tricky, but also how to show up online, what to post and when. So I did struggle at that too sometimes when I owned my own salon, but that seems to be a reoccurring struggle is they're either afraid to post, they don't know what to post, they don't want to put their face out there, all those sorts of things.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like linking back to actually what you do, don't you think that if we were to show up more online, sharing who we are authentically, it would actually have beauty business, beauty therapists who potentially are in the area. I mean, they're clients too, right? They probably get treatments here, there, and everywhere, and they're following businesses because they are living within the community. And I feel like it would actually help a beauty therapist become more comfortable with the business if they knew who the owner was, or if they knew who the face behind the brand was, or if they knew some of the team members. It can also help from that aspect, like obviously I teach about showing up online from a business growth perspective to drive clients into your business, but I'm just relating it to actually what you do. And it's like, oh, hang on a sec. This could actually build know, like, and trust for your potential team member if you show
Yeah.
up as well.
Yeah, I agree. It's yeah, getting people connected in that way and familiar with one another. So, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And so where do you think people get stuck the most in business or socials?
I think with being online, it's confidence, which I understand, but it is, like I said before, it's like a muscle. The more you do, the easier it gets. But with staff, I think it could be a range of different things from maybe poor leadership or lack of systems in place. Sometimes letting, the bad apple spoil the apple cart. Also lack of training or just not knowing when to cut like a therapist away. Uh,
Mm,
but it can be so hard again to find someone to replace those team members. So,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I definitely have heard so many stories in regards to that with maybe team members staying longer than is necessary, and that's so hard because we are in the service-based industry. We like to make people feel good, and we can get into this people-pleasing spiral, and that can actually relay into that for yourself as well, like, oh, I better not because I need them for now because they're booked in their columns. But then you've got to think long term, right? Of how damaging that can then be, not just for the business, the clients, but also for team culture as well.
exactly. Because you can have an amazing team culture, everything can be great. And then you get that one person for whatever reason, it might be attitude, whatever. It can just bring everyone else down. And yeah, not
Yeah.
good. Not good for
Not
anyone.
good. Yeah, not good. And obviously there are so many incredible people in our industry, coaches that can support in the leadership side. And I've seen a lot in my community, in the Beauty Boss community, dive deeper into this that have teams, and it has been really life-changing for them to they're then taking off the business owner therapist hat because a lot of the time we get into our businesses because we love being the beauty therapist. We are in the treatment room, we are doing the services, but actually being a leader and leading a team, creating team culture, it doesn't come easy. That's a whole nother kettle of fish. It's a whole nother job role. And I think a lot of us who are kind of growing and wanting to scale team, maybe we've got 2 team members, it's kind of we turn a blind eye to it, and then we become the friendship boundary gets in the way there, and then they find it hard to actually kind of trace back to putting the CEO boss hat back on and being like, hang on, I need to pull you up on this, so it's so tricky. So yeah, I know that those who do dive into more of that leadership development for themselves, it can be life-changing for the business and the growth as well, growth of the team. Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. How important do you believe social media is in growing a beauty business today?
Oh.
2026. Oh my gosh. We have like content overload, but It's very important, right?
Definitely. I think now more than ever, it's vital. Even just for myself recently. So I've got a hairdresser who I've been seeing for a few years, but she's announced she's pregnant. So she's going to be going on maternity leave. So straight away, it's like, oh, okay, I've got to find someone, so I can see during that time. So I spent time just the other week going through ChatGPT, Facebook, Instagram, websites to try and, because she's 45 minutes away, drive away. So I love going to see her. So I want someone local. I went to all these different pages trying to find someone that I could potentially see. And it was actually really hard because either their websites were clunky and hard to work around, or didn't give me the info that I wanted, or even on Instagram, trying to see before and after photos. And either if they might have had photos from 2024. So straight away I was jumping off. I'm like, nah, too hard. Nah, don't have any photos, recent photos. No, don't look like what I want. Or or just weren't showing up. So I think just being consistent and putting that out there, from a customer point of view, me just doing that made me realize, oh my gosh, how many other people do the same thing?
Yes,
Mhm.
I know. And like you're blonde, and I can imagine because I'm a brunette, I'm like plain Jane. You can just put it all brown. It's a no-brainer for me, but I know that blonde hair is so specific, and that
Yep,
would mean, yeah, the difference between you clicking on and off if you see the right type of blonde, the right type of cut that you want, if we're speaking hair. And if you've seen something from 2024, that person may be on maternity leave too.
exactly. Exactly.
So we need to be current. And I actually had this conversation with a clinic owner the other day. We were speaking about before and afters, and she'd mentioned, oh, I'd posted that one a while ago. And so it was because it's posted, it's been done, right? But we can't forget that that was a long time ago. Your following has built. The people that are engaged with you are also different now as well. And you can't stop talking about your stories, the transformations that you've had in clinic. And okay, if it's the same before and after that you want to share again, just don't be afraid to share it because there's new people, new eyes, and new opportunities that are waiting to have that problem solved as well.
Yeah, it's funny because I think you put a story up and said something similar like that the other day about, don't be afraid to reuse content. And I loved that you said that because there's been so many times where I'll schedule posts that I've already posted so many times. And I'm like, oh, yeah, but I've got new people on. I've got new people here. Or maybe the other people that have been following me haven't seen this yet. So when you said repost the same stuff, I'm like, okay, cool. I've got permission from
Yeah.
Angela.
Yes, absolutely. And that was that story in regards to also, like you've got something to share. And I think with your business with Salon Connected, it's the same thing, all like, it's the same thing that they're buying into, right? So you will always have to come up with different ways and how to share what you do, how you can serve, and the solutions that you can solve within the industry, right? So you are very niched in that. So you will get really good with your storytelling in different ways and never ever be afraid to come to that camera again and think, oh, I feel like I've just repeated this. Because a lot of clinic owners will say when I'm in a content shoot, oh, isn't that the same, but like kind of just in a different way. And I was like, yeah, that's correct because you're doing skin needling. We can't stop talking about the benefits of skin needling, the pain points that it solves, and why it is so incredible for your skin. We've just got to spin it in like 15 different ways so that your promotion executes successfully.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So, yes, we want that confidence muscle building, don't we? And yeah, I know that you're really fantastic at that.
Oh, thank you.
What do you think separates the businesses that are growing versus those that aren't?
I think when it comes to social media, it's definitely consistency and communication. I don't think you need to have a massive following, to be honest. But if you're showing up and replying to potential customers, just speaking to your audience and making them feel seen, I think that makes a world of difference between someone who isn't doing those things.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so glad that you said that because, I mean, last year, probably you started building the business a bit before you launched, obviously, because you know that you've got to build before you've got anything to sell.
Yeah.
Uh, however, you started from ground zero. You've had this incredible, successful salon in a shopping center with a large team. You bought in you probably bought a little bit of that database and following as well to keep building on. And then you started Salon Connected from 0 followers. And I completely agree with not having to have like a large following. Just a really nailed in connected community can make the world of difference. And yeah, so you are proof that you can build a business, and social media is obviously only a little tiny piece of the pie, right? I know that I bang on about it, but I know it's only a small piece of the ecosystem of how we can grow. But yeah, having that message and sharing it and not being afraid to, it can really help just have people be taken through that bias cycle, because they've got to become aware of who you are first. And you're always speaking to people that are just meeting you for the first time. After this podcast gets released, I'm hoping that there's going to be so many people that are aware of who Salon Connected is. And so if you, and goals, but if you don't have any of that awareness type content to say, hey, I'm Lauren from Salon Connected going out, then people potentially will just scroll past and be like, oh yeah, maybe I'll come back to that if I ever need anybody. But you want people to get a part of your world and just, build that, networking friendship, right?
Exactly. And I mean, like you said, with not being afraid to put yourself out there and doing it all, if someone doesn't like your message, then that's their choice to unfollow and move on. So don't let that, I guess, make you feel down. Is just keep going, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, that's so good. Did that take you a while to get to that place of knowing that you don't have to be everyone's cup of tea?
Yeah, definitely. Because if I was getting a lot of positive feedback when I had the salon, clients would say, oh, I love what you're saying and I love this and I love that. But it was always in the back of your mind, oh, but what if, especially when you listen to yourself, I don't think most people like listening to themselves. And so you were so critical going, oh, I should just delete that story. And I just learned to go, no, Lauren, just leave it there. And then there are always the stories that people, I guess, are attracted to the most or love the most, and you get the most feedback. So you just don't know what's going to land with some people.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what types of content do you believe actually drives clients and revenue into a clinic?
Before myself, I think before and afters. I do love a good before and after. Plus behind the scenes videos and anything that explains or shows the way treatments are done. As therapists, we're in the treatment room. We know how things are done, but clients don't know. They've normally got their eyes closed, or they might be on their phone or whatever. So, or if they're interested in knowing more about skin needling, I found that those sorts of videos would get more interactions, more views, and more questions, because they're like, "Oh, that's how it's done, and that's what it looks like." So, and
Yeah.
even for myself, to get curious about how other treatments that I've never seen or done before. I do love seeing those sorts of videos behind the scenes.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that, because I know that so many clinic owners potentially are also following lots of other clinic owners, and their explore feed might be filled with a whole heap of beauty reels, right? And then as a clinic owner, you can get caught up in this spiral of it's already been done, so I
Mm,
won't share it. But we have to remember that you're speaking to your clients who their feed is maybe filled with cats.
yeah.
That's how the algorithm works. Their feed is not filled with beauty business reels and skin needling reels. Our feeds are, because mine definitely is, because that's, who I follow and I'm connected into. But on my personal Instagram, it's kind of filled with a lot of like homeschooling stuff and world schooling stuff and travel. It's
Yeah.
not filled with beauty business stuff. And so I think we have to remember that our clients haven't already seen it, and that by you posting again is and sharing more about the ways and how like the technology that you use works, it can really take them from being unsure to, oh, I might ask Lisa about that the next time I'm in.
Yeah, because they probably have never seen it before, before you've shared it. Even though
Yeah.
100 other people have. Yeah, for them, it's the first time.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So never ever forget that we just have to be and I know that it's hard. I know it's hard to film, this is why I do the content shoots, but I was saying to you before we press record, I can't be here. I can't
Yeah.
be everywhere for everyone, There's only a certain amount of days in the year. And so being able to carve out that filming time can make such a difference because you've got a bank of content there to always constantly share in your stories, use some text over the top of it, and constantly work on that education side of things so that you're taking people from awareness into consideration and then making a decision to potentially purchase with you.
Yeah, exactly.
I was thinking you were going to say speaking to the camera because you're so good at that. That's what I want everyone to do.
And that too.
But you're a consumer as well, right? And I think it's really important to know that the consumers are also amongst the pretty aesthetic pictures looking for transformation. They want to see what you can do. Why do I choose to come to you? Why are you the expert? And
Mm.
then bringing that person in front of the brand. I love that you're doing that with Salon Connected because a lot of digital companies and software companies, they don't want to be the face of their brand and they just sort of, potentially want to build it up to sell it one day, which great, no problem. But
Mm.
in the building stage, and we are wanting to connect with real human beings more than ever, even if we don't know it, I think it's really fantastic that you are coming to the camera so much and showing who you are.
Yeah, I think it's vitally important to be doing that because like you said, and then you're relatable as well. They know that they're speaking to an actual person and I'm just not some bot sitting here behind Instagram. I've been there, I've been in their shoes on both sides and yeah, I know how it feels. So yeah, I think
Mm,
it's important.
yeah, love it. What do you see people getting wrong when it comes to social media?
I see a lot of salons just posting promotional material, which is great. But if it's just something whacked up in Canva and that's all they're ever doing, I feel like you just go, yeah, okay, that sounds nice. And you go past, you'll scroll past. So if they're never showing their face, never showing a different video, um, yeah, it just becomes too salesy. And that if they're not being consistent as well, that I think they're getting wrong.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And so maybe this goes back to when you owned your clinic. What would be 3 non-negotiables for a business owner wanting to grow?
I think having the right team and support around you is really important. Showing up online consistently, not just one day every other month, but also having backup for your business when things go pear shaped. So, I mean, going back to Salon Connected, those sorts of backup for salons now. But there's other things as well out there for salons too. So, yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
looking at
I
everything.
love that. I
Yeah.
love I love that you said that. Having backup. Like
Mm.
we don't have to just think that, oh well, this is all that I've got. Like we have to be in constant pivot mindset, right? Like if this isn't working, how can I change this? There's always an opportunity in every obstacle. And I love that Salon Connected is actually that opportunity in the obstacle of filling, staff no shows and people falling sick and things like that. So yeah, really incredible. I just want to share it with everybody.
Oh, I love that.
Okay. What is one area of your business you're currently working on or seeking support in?
Well, I'm always trying to work on my social media presence. I think, you can always improve, but also I'm looking at ways how I can continually improve the app. So anytime I've gotten a bit of feedback, I'll look at ways that can be fixed and I'll continue that as well. Like any app, they're always being updates because things change, things grow, things evolve. So yeah,
Mm,
definitely
yeah,
looking.
absolutely. And, like social media is very top of funnel when it comes to that way and how we can bring people into knowing what you do and using the app as well. So obviously we want to build awareness in you sharing that within our industry as well. So yeah, we'll do everything that we can over in the world of Beauty Business Co to share Salon Connected.
Oh, thank you.
And so, do you have any tools or other apps or platforms that you rely on daily?
Yeah, I reckon ChatGPT I talk to a lot these days. It's probably my second husband. But I also use Bubble.io, which is the platform I built Salon Connected in, but I use that every day. But two other things that I use that aren't related to business at all is the Gratitude app and also Duolingo for a bit of, you know, part-time learning another language.
Oh, what are you learning?
I'm trying to learn a bit of Spanish. So
Oh, that's so
very
cool.
slow, but a bit of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Obviously, you know my past, so I was married to a Colombian, so I
Yeah. You'd know
I
a bit.
know a little bit of Spanish, and
Yeah.
Emilio, my son, has Spanish on Duolingo. So I feel like I'm learning in the background all of the time with that. And
That's awesome.
yeah, it's fun. It's nice to kind of just use also like that different part of the brain, right? Switch off from the business side and do something that's completely different and creative.
Yeah, and it's never too late, right?
Yeah, and I love the gratitude side of things.
Mm.
I know that it's a daily practice of mine that can literally be the change in a good, like a bad day into a good day, or you know, just really turning a negative into a positive very, very easily. It can switch my vibration, and so I love that you've got an app that you can turn to for that.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm not someone who can, I've tried to have planners and journals and do all that, but I don't stick with them because I lose them or I'd never have it easily accessible. So when I found this app, I've gone, this is perfect because I've always got my phone nearby.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so cool. And it's nice because sometimes we can't think of the words that we are grateful for. I ask Emilio every day, and especially when he's with his dad, and he's like, I'm grateful for talking to you. It's so beautiful, but it's on repeat, right? And it's like that's that habit of like we're always grateful for the things that, you know, are in right in front of us. But like, what if they were something just even like I'm so grateful for the sun shining today so I can get my laundry dry.
Yeah, exactly.
It can help and overwhelm in so many ways. And so tell me a little bit about like a day in the life of Lauren. What are some of the routines and habits that support you in your success?
Well, I mean, I have a few different, I guess, rituals through my day, in the morning and evening. So most mornings, when I get up, I do open my gratitude app and use one of the prompts to fill that out. Um, and then I actually ice bath most mornings for 3 minutes. And this is where I habit stack with that because while I'm doing that, I do a bit of, I wouldn't say it's meditation, but it kind of is. It's more focusing on what I want to, my intentions for the day and setting myself up in my mind to be positive and, the woman I want to step into for the day. So, yeah, I find that quite helpful and keeps me calm. So when the kids are getting ready for school, you're in that mindset and you're a calm, positive influence for them. Yeah, and then I'll normally work out in the morning after the kids have gone to school and then have a whole chunk of time to work on Salon Connected, however that might be for the day. And then the evenings, I'll have a sauna. And while I'm normally having a sauna, I'll either be reading or on my Duolingo app, learning a bit of Spanish or replying to emails. And then try to read most nights. I'm a very slow reader, but I do try to knock out 10, 15 minutes and then try to get 7, 8 hours of sleep. So I find those sorts of things, if any of those are out of whack for too long, I just feel like I'm out of control and I can't focus as well as I normally could.
I love that. That's a killer routine.
It sounds like a lot, but a lot of them are, your habit stacking. So you're doing a lot of them at the same time, or yeah, it doesn't take a lot to do all those, I guess. So
No, I
yeah,
think it sounds simple if it's in routine and you have the tools in front of you, right? I think a lot of the time we forget that we have obviously you've got an ice bath and a sauna, but we have like this little toolbox within us as well, you know, that we can pull from when we are feeling maybe a little bit anxious or highly strung, or the day has gone like way too fast and you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't gotten anything done. Like, remember, you can come back to your breath. You've got that, and you'll need that obviously in the ice bath too. So I can imagine I've definitely done my fair share of ice baths, and it's a certain mind over matter in those moments to get the longevity out of the 3 minutes. You do so well. That's so good.
Especially in winter, that's when I find I struggle the most to get in. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm already freezing.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to challenge you to set up a tripod and share like your ice bathing and sauna. I want to
Oh.
see that.
All right, one day.
I love it. Okay, I'm going to move on to some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
What is the best investment you've ever made in your business?
Oh, I think, to be honest, probably investing my time in how to learn, like learning how to build Salon Connected. That was something I never thought I'd be able to do, is build an app. So investing that time more than money has been,
Yeah.
yeah, great.
And so, rapid fire, here we go. You said originally your husband and you made this together.
Yep.
Was that he's still a big part of the business?
Not really. I bounce a lot of ideas off him. But no, when it came to building it, it was me that took over all that. He was like, "Oh, babe, I don't think so." And I did get some external help for parts of it as well, so it wasn't 100% me. And I do have people that help me with that,
Yeah.
because there are a lot of things that I cannot do. But no, for the most part, it's me doing it now.
Oh, that's incredible, because that's just, learning a complete new. I was thinking maybe he was in the tech industry and that's how, it kind of came about with his genius zone or something. But that's just amazing. You've learned a whole new skill set there. And I was saying to you earlier, like sitting in front of the computer building landing pages is not my genius zone. I really prefer not to be doing things like that. And it's important to outsource our weaknesses, but also very important to learn our own structure and infrastructure of our businesses, because if something does fail or we need someone else to step in and help us, it's important to lead and
Yeah.
share and all of that as well. So I love that you've done that.
Oh, thank you.
It is what, like also I think that helps in being able to really sell the sizzle and you showing up constantly for the business as well. Like if you really did outsource and had, with the way and how the AI companies and stuff are like building apps in 10 minutes and all sorts these days, I just can't even imagine like sitting down and trying to learn how that would happen. But you could also imagine if you fully outsourced all of that, you just wouldn't have a heart. There's no heartbeat in that.
Yeah, that's what I sort of felt as well, because I did approach a company to build it for me. But it did come back to the whole, oh, but what sort of control would I have if I want to change things quickly, and learning it as well? Because if I outsourced it all, I'd have no idea how the back end works. So,
Mhm.
would they teach me as we went, or, yeah. So as much as I still have help with this, it's more assistance. It's not them having full control and me having to like, can you do this for me? I just need this fixed.
Absolutely. That's a time and money situation there. Lots of beauty business owners come up with that obstacle as well. Like they've outsourced having their website built and then it sits there without any editing or updates forever, because it's like, oh, cool, my website's finally finished. I've just paid $7,000 for it to be done and it looks amazing, right? But they don't know how to add a blog post to it, or they don't know how to edit the shop or add another product or take one out. And if you're constantly paying $75 an hour plus to a web developer to change something so small, it is something where I've then heard stories of like, oh, it's just too expensive. I can't do it and I don't know how. So we really do. We need to kind of learn a little bit of the basic foundations of our back end. I encourage everyone to, carve out a bit of time and sit in front of the computer and learn the back end of their website so they can make it feel better. Because as you were saying, you were searching on ChatGPT for a hairdresser in your
Yeah.
local community. And that means the words that are in their website, in their social media, in their any write-up that they have that they've used words is getting filtered into location-specific the search engine of ChatGPT. It's wild. And so
Yeah.
if you want to become discovered through these search engine platforms, not just Google, but now ChatGPT, then you are going to have to update your website, because if you don't do updates, it shows the algorithm that you're not active, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I just learnt that recently at that timely event, is how much you need to optimize all your social media, your website and everything because of ChatGPT. And I went, wow, okay, this is, yeah, crazy. So important.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that can be one of those things that we're like, oh, that can be a tomorrow problem.
Yeah.
But then tomorrow comes and we're suddenly into a whole wide world of AI that is growing way too fast for anyone that could have ever imagined it would become like this. So yeah, get on it.
I agree.
Okay, that was definitely not rapid fire. Sorry. A belief you had to let go of to grow.
Oh, I guess that no isn't an implication that what you're doing is wrong. So I believed in my idea so profoundly for Salon Connected that if someone came at me, I and wasn't exactly positive about it, I was like, okay, that's great. That's your belief. That's not mine. And I just kept going. I did experience this a little bit online through an anonymous person on a Facebook page, and they just kept going at me. I'm like, that's fine. That's you. That's you. Yeah, and just not letting that get to you. So, yeah, I
Mm,
think I've kinda
I
got it.
love that.
Yeah.
And you're also taking on the stories of that's their story, right? Like you were saying, it's their belief. And it's like when you are putting yourself out there, whether it's your selling connected business or a clinic owner listening, it's like we are becoming vulnerable. We are putting ourselves out there. And I think that's what holds so many people back of like what the judgment of others would be. And so you having this belief in your business and, like it's so important to like believe the products that you stock, believe in the results that they actually achieve, believe in the services that you do, really love up on so much of that transformation of what your business does and why you've chosen these brands and why you've set up your business in the area that you have, why you've named it the name, like all of those things you've really got to like anchor into. I am so passionate and love up on my business so much that you couldn't say anything to me. I would come to work for free for you. That's how mumuch I love it.
Yeah,
And
100%.
no
Is it
one coming at you will have you defer in any of that belief.
exactly, because 'cause you're always gonna have the naysayers. It's just learning to block them out and go, "Okay, that's great. You do you. I'm gonna do me."
Absolutely. Yeah. Once again, you're not everyone's cup of tea. So that's totally fine. I prefer peppermint. A moment you felt like giving up but didn't.
I think every other week since 2017. No, I think in the early days of, building the app, I had so many moments when I would just be banging my head against a wall and was ready to throw in the towel because I was learning something new. And I think your brain can only take in so much each day. And there'd be, so many moments of like, "Oh, I think I'm done. No, this isn't gonna work." But I just learned I just had to shut my laptop, put it away for the day, and I'd come back the next day and I'd fix whatever problem I was having. So it's just, yeah, I guess pushing through all of that, and just not being so hard on myself and realizing that, hey, you're learning something completely different that you've never done before.
Yeah.
But in saying that, yeah, I did have some external help for certain areas that I just way too out of my field. But I'd also committed to doing Beauty Expo 2025. So then I had a deadline. It's like, well, all right, you said you're doing this. You've also forked out money to be an exhibitor here. So you need to get this done, Lauren. So pull your finger out and just go for it. And I did. I got it done. So yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, I'm so sorry I wasn't at Expo last year. I would have loved to. I'll be there this year. Are you exhibiting?
Not at this stage. I may be attending, but I'll see.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Would love to hang with you.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
What is one thing you'd do if you weren't afraid to be seen?
To be honest, I think attending networking events by myself because I'm actually such an introvert and a very shy person. So rocking up to those sorts of events without someone with me is a huge fear, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I wasn't
I
afraid, I would be like, yeah, I got this and rock up. So,
I don't think you're alone there. I feel like that is definitely a fear of so many in our industry as well. Because it's like we want to be at these to learn and grow and all of the promises that these events give.
mm,
And then you're popped in a big room of so many other people that can be quite intimidating.
yeah, yeah, especially big personalities as well. I can get quite intimidated by that. So it's just, it's just that self talk. It's like, don't be silly. They're all human. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, well, I hope that you are going to come to our event in September.
And so we're actually talking about maybe being in Thailand for a few months later in this year. So if it doesn't pan out, I'm hoping to be there in September. So
Oh, so cool. Thailand will be amazing, though. All right. Well, that is a wrap for us. I have absolutely loved this conversation. It's been so nice to connect with you after so many years. And I know that we're always virtually connected, but it's actually nice to have a great conversation and then share Salon Connected with the industry. What's next for you and what are you most excited about?
well, right now I'm just continuing to get exposure for Salon Connected, getting it out there, getting more people using the app. I'm actually doing a presentation at TAFE Queensland, their post-student beauty expo in June. So in June this year. So that'll be awesome. But right now, I'm just excited to watch it grow and how it can help so many salons and workers in the industry. So I've said from day dot that I just want to make a positive impact on our industry. I've experienced the hardship of, you know, uh, being short staffed and all of that, but also the flip side of what it can be like as an employee. So I'm just trying to connect and move it forward and help so many.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I actually, when you just said that, I just flashed back to my college days.
Yeah.
And there was the lady who came in from Steiner for the working on the cruise ships and did a presentation. And that was where I fell in love with the idea. And I basically said, I'm going to be working on cruise ships. I did have a boyfriend at the time. We were together for quite a long time and I deferred the idea, but I ended up doing it because of this woman, because of the way that she walked in and her presence within us to show us what could become possible with our pathway. And I just think that like the opportunity that you have to go into colleges and TAFEs and share a little bit of that possibility with a beauty therapist starting out is going to be so incredible for you.
Yeah, I think just letting therapists know, like, with Steiner, with you, it's just there are so many different ways you can go within this career and then what that can then open up for you as well. So, yeah, and
Yeah.
they are the future, these students coming out of TAFE and colleges. So, yeah, I think
Yeah.
we need to be in touch with them for sure.
Oh, amazing. Well, thank you so much, Lauren. It's been a treat having you, and we'll catch up soon. Do you want to share once again where our listeners can find you and get a part of your world?
Yeah. So they can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. So Facebook just Salon Connected and Instagram Salon_Connected. Plus our website is www.saloncon.net. So yeah, come along and join us on the journey.
Amazing. Have I missed anything? Is there anything else that you feel you had on your heart that you wanted to share?
About that, well, I'll let everyone know that if it comes to pricing and all that for Salon Connected, it is only $2 a week. However, the first month is completely free. So only $2. We don't take a cut from therapists or anything like that at all. There's no other hidden fees. There's no minimum joining period or anything like that. So it's very straight up, very transparent. But yeah, I just thought I would share that as well.
Excellent. Yeah, that sounds so affordable and like a no-brainer to kind of get started and double your toes in to see if this could be something that could be a solution for you growing your team and hopefully finding your future team members.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing, Lauren. All right. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Angela.